characters, capital letters, small letters. So we have a string. If you want to read an integer, obviously you will be doing it, converting it into an integer, an int. You know how to convert into int, right? No? Integer.parseInt is basically how you convert into int or float or anything else. So let's say if the user has written number txt int number is equal to some number which the user has written, you do this integer.parseInt to convert. Write txt dot get text dot toString. So this is basically conversion of user entered text into integer. So that's how you do this. But now this is whatever you have read from what the user is entering in the text fields. Now this is basically only two steps. You make a connection to the file, make connection also called output stream to the file, and then write it in the bytes. Write to the file in bytes. So the reason you write in the file in bytes is because all the files have ASCII codes inside them, and you have to convert your string into bytes, because the information you see and read over here is not how it is stored exactly. It is stored in ASCII code. ASCII code is converted into bytes basically, but you don't need to recognize ASCII codes, etc. You just use .getBytes and khalas. That's all. So once you write, make sure always after writing you have to close the output stream. So fileout.close, and you have written this now. Once it is written, obviously you display a toast message if you like to. It's not necessary, but basically this is how you display a toast message. This is one of the most easiest parts of filing or local storage. Read whatever the user is entering and write it into a file. Now if you want to change to, let's say, whatever the file name user is entering, then obviously it's a very small change. If you like to, I can show you. You can do this, or you want me to show you here? You can do this, right? Okay. So not this one. Okay, what this is? File IO. Right, let me just open the layout quickly. Okay, so I'll take a text field. I did not do the layouts for this. Okay, let me see. This is what the user will write, and basically it is file name you're getting from the user. File name. I hate this Apple keyboard. File name, and this is the edit text. I'm gonna name it file name txt. Yes. Okay. So file name txt, I need to go back and create a reference to this. So I'll go back, maybe just copy this quickly, edit file name txt. I got the reference, and then I am going to read the file name. String file name is equal to file name txt. This, it has to be the reference, this one, edit text, file name txt dot get text dot. Now don't go around and do this, sir. File name txt dot get text dot toString, and you make spelling mistakes. So this is how you are doing suggestions. But if you do not take the suggestions, you are going to do spelling mistakes. So I advise, please take suggestions. If you don't see suggestions, control space is the shortcut. So you see there's an error, unnecessary error if you don't take suggestions. So now I've got the file name. I need to write it to this file. This file is also given by the user. What is the content? What do I need to write? Also given by the user here. So this is the file name. This is what I need to write. So here I will just replace this with this file name. Plus. So it will go to that file. Okay, so let me just run this. Wait a minute, I have to also read from the same file. So let me just change this in the reading also. When I read it from the read buttons action listener, I have also to, I need to read the file name over here. Now, can anybody tell me, can you guess, why do I have to do this again? You see, it's a different button, and also the scope of the variable. The scope of the variable, I declare this variable inside this bracket. This variable file name is not available outside this bracket. This is scope. This is called scope. It will live and die within this bracket. It will start after this bracket and it will not exist after this bracket. So the scope of user txt, this variable, file name variable, int number, all of this is within this bracket. It does not exist outside. It lives and die inside. So let's say I say file name is equal to something else over here. File name is equal to something else. It will say, I don't know what file name you're talking about. I don't know this file. You see this file name, what's the error? File name cannot be resolved to variable. It means I don't know what you're talking about. What file name? Because that file name is inside that block only, that curly brackets. You see, because I declare it over here. However, if I want the same file name or the same variable to be living throughout my application, throughout my activity, I have to do this. See, very simple. I bring this down over here. You see, on create, I can do this over here. File name is equal to file name txt.getText.toString, and it's there. So it will be available. Everything which is inside this. Where does this stop? Where does this bracket stop? It stops here. You see? So it will be available over here, but it is wrong to place this over here. Understand why? It's wrong. The reason it is wrong is that the on-click listener of the button starts over here. On-click listener starts over here. It means if the user has not entered anything, the user did not enter, it's empty. Even then you're reading it. File name txt.getText.toString. What is it? It's empty. There's nothing. When the user clicks on the button, then it will come here. You understand? Yes. And now you should read what user has written, not before. When the user clicks on the button, now go ahead and read here. What has the user written? So I'll do this over here. String file name txt.getText.toString. So now I create the file name and I do this, read whatever the user has written and write in the same file name, and also I do the same thing over here. So no worries. There is one more smarter way to do this. You understand so far? Yes. Why do I declare this again and again? Right. This is one. If you do like this, there is no problem. Your application will be working fine, and the file name can be read from the user, and you can write also to the same file, and you can read also from the same place. Now, another way, actually, very very similar to this. Now, the reason I want you to know this is because I want I'm repeating scope. I hope you would have remembered this from the previous programming courses, but this is scope taught in very basic first programming courses. You may remember this again. See, string file name, this file name, I declare over here, and don't give it value. Don't give it value. This is the declare. When you say string data type and then the variable name, means you are declaring a new variable. Now here I am, okay, it has to be final. Okay, it will be a little more complex. Alright, forget this. Tomorrow is your review. This will be a little more complex for you to remember. So the final thing, we are not going over there. But just read where it is being placed. If I place it over here, I have to declare it final. And then if a string is final, you cannot assign it some value directly like this, equals to. So I read this from the user. So let me just test this. File IO I need to start. Yeah. Okay, so now I read the file name. I get what the file name is. Let's say the file name is CIA3303.txt. Okay, and I write tomorrow is Yawmul Imtihan. Right. Some error. Okay, now this is something you should be very familiar with. Let's see what the error is about. So, yeah, okay. Yeah. So this tells you where the error is exactly on the line. So I think the integer conversion was what I was doing was something I forgot to delete. Main activity.java, line number 54. Okay, this conversion to integer, I just showed to you how to convert it. Let me just stop this. I don't. You know how to convert to integer, so I'm not doing that integer conversion. Okay, so I need to write this CIA3303.txt. And the content should is you will all get A, inshallah. Right. So file is saved successfully, but where is it saved? CIA3303.txt now. The user gave the username, the file name, this file name. Okay, and let's read this. You will all get A, inshallah. Where is it being read from? Where is it being read from? CIA3303.txt. It's in the phone, in the emulator. It's saved there in the emulator. Okay, sorry. So let's write something else. I'm gonna write. This is an exam review. Right, and now read it. CIA3303, that file name. Okay, I did not create the layout, so it is jumbling up. So let's read this again. You will all get A, and then this is so it's reading the whole file in a loop. How is it reading? Let's go and see how is it reading. But let's say I change the file name to something else. CIA330. 5. Okay, so you will get a project tomorrow. You'll also get a project tomorrow. And let me just write this. File save successfully read into from the same file name, CIA3303. Now see this. I delete everything from.
What is the file?
This is the file name.
No, we just are saving or what?
Yes, we are saving and reading both. So I'm reading. You will get a project tomorrow. What happens when I change this to back 3? Something else. The one before. So the file content are being changed because I changed the file name. So I'm reading from a different file name. I'm writing to a different file name.
And I can't type any file name. Doesn't have to inside the.
Yes, it should not contain space. It should not contain special characters. Space it can, but no special characters. So
Send us this one, sir.
okay, I'll send you this code. So this is reading. Let's look at writing quick. This was writing. Let's look at reading quickly. When you come to the reading of the button, let me just increase its size. Now reading, there is a little more code. There's a little more code involved. You open an input stream, open a connection or input stream from the file, and then create a input stream reader from the input stream. So input stream, you can read one by one character. That's a little difficult. So input stream reader is a special class which reads a little more efficiently. And then the buffered reader is again a special class which reads one line. You can read through this also, you can read through this also, but it's difficult. If you change it, all of these into buffered reader, you can read the whole line like this. That's why we are creating buffered reader. So create a buffered reader from input stream reader. So once the buffered reader is there, this is the BR, which is this. Before reading, you initialize, meaning initially you set the value of line and out, 2 string variables, to nothing. This is an empty string. They have nothing inside. So when you read a line, this is how you read a line. Line is equal to br.readLine. So in this while you read the line and then you check if it was null. Because this, what this does is dot read line, it reads and gives you a string. If it is able to read and gives you a string, you will get that string in the line variable. This line variable which I have declared over here. If it is not able to read, meaning it was end of file or there was nothing in the file, it was empty file or end of file, then it will give you null. So what it says is, keep reading the file until you reach end of file, which is null. Which is null. So until you reach the end of file, which is null, you keep reading. So the while loop is actually something which is repetition. It will keep reading until it reaches the end of file. So out is equal to, basically what is out? It's a string it is creating. Whatever you have read, are you familiar with this plus equals to? It is the same thing as saying out is equal to out plus line. This is what it means. So to add something to it. So let's say the first line was Aisha, second line was Hissa, and the third line was Haya, and the fourth line was Shama. Okay, whose name is missing? Khadija, Fatima. Okay, you have these 6 lines in a file. You keep reading one by one and add into out. So first time it will read one line, it will say read line. So it will read Aisha and will add into out. This is what it means when you say out is equal to out plus line. So it says first time it is Aisha only, second time it is there is Aisha Hissa. It will here now out will become Aisha Hissa. Now it will become Aisha Hissa Haya. this is how it works basically. So now this will become Aisha, Hissa, Haya, Shamma, like this. So it is reading in a line, in a loop, and displaying, not displaying, adding in the value of what out is, what out has, and then in the end it just displays. So let me show this to you again. Maybe another file, say names.txt, and I'll say Aisha, right? And when I read it, you see, there's only Aisha here. Then we add what? Hissa, right? And when you read it, it is Aisha and Hissa. And when I write Haya and I read it, it's Aisha, Hissa, Haya together. It's reading line by line, one line by line in a loop, again and again and again. So basically that's what reading does. Now the question, why don't I use loop in writing? A very, very simple question. You see here I am using while, correct? To read one by one, line by line. Why don't I use while in writing? Will not stop?
Maybe how would it
Delete? Because there is no need for while loop. You see, writing I am only writing one line. Reading I am reading everything which is in that file. I don't know how many lines. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this while loop says, if it is null, stop reading. So that's how while works. Keep on reading. I hope you remember what while loop is, what loops are. For loop, while loop, do while loop. There are different kinds of loops. But this is how you do reading. Okay, enough for storage. Can I move to the database? Reading, writing and searching. Okay. So I'm going to send this to you. Let me just for a minute just pause this. So I'm giving you a review of what in the exam you can get. It's a patient management system, and I'll be creating the interface, and I'll share with you the interface, the patient management system, and inside this. Okay, you need to be using layout. I'm not drawing layout now. Your exam, you should be having layout, and you should be having the strings. Where should be the strings coming from?
Yeah,
from the string.properties file.
Again, the last exam was months away.
Same the exam I'm not doing string. Do I have to?
Yes, you will lose marks.
Do it now. I want to know. Again.
Okay, the relative layout, change layout.
So add this over شوي.
Okay, inside this there's a horizontal layout. The horizontal layout contains text view and a text field. And another layout contains a text view and a text field. Okay, and another layout for make sure you keep saving your work, your text view and obviously a text field. You've got these three things. You should be creating these three things. Okay, thanks for correction. So let's say I'll be creating a file name over here, and I'll say right over here employee name and patient name. And also, let's say phone number. So I wanted to write disease, but I said okay, just leave this. So this is a text field. I'll be giving it something meaningful. File name txt, yes, and then this is the patient name. This is the patient phone number, phone txt. Okay, so I want you to record these two things in the file. Also, on the same activity, I'm going to create one more layout. Okay, as a gap, there's nothing here. Another layout, horizontal layout, just below it. Okay, I need to enter something here so that there's some gap, although I can adjust the height of this also. Let me just check if there is a dp. Okay, I'm gonna ignore this. So I have something over here as a layout. I'm gonna add a text view inside this, which has basically no text. Okay, then there's another layout. Here I will be creating database. So whatever I collect from here, I'll be writing in the database. This was for patient's name and phone number. Now I'll be taking database name, okay, and then also table name. So this is database name, this is the table name. So let's give it this text over here, db name, and then table. This is db txt, and this is table txt. Right, so make sure you keep saving your work while you are doing it. And here I will be placing one, okay, I had to place one button over here to write to a file. So I'll be placing a button. This button will be writing to the file, and another button to read from the same file. So this will be write file btn, write to file, and this will be read file btn. Read from file. Okay, so you need to place them in the middle, so just change the gravity to center. Right, this is DB name, this is table name. I want you to record these in the database also, the same patient name and the phone number. So there may be additional fields over there in the exam, but I'm just showing you with the two fields. So this will be another layout here. So I just add a horizontal layout, and this should be having two buttons. Change the gravity to center to place them in the middle. Make sure you keep saving your work. This button should be right or save in database, save db.txt, and this is read from db, read db.txt. Okay, so another layout for searching. So here I'll be writing a text view and a text field to search by phone number. So the text view is having a text of search by phone, and the text field is phone search txt. Yes, okay. And then another layout with a button in it, and the button will be doing the search. Okay, its gravity should be center, and the button should have search. Right, so the search, it will be searching from here. Whatever the values it finds, it will display over here. The patient number and the patient name, it will be searching from this by this phone. Right, so now what we need to do is basically implement this file reading and writing, implement database reading and writing, and also search the database reading and writing. Now let's go to this. There's a way to change this to a string resource Android extract Android string. What this will be doing is it will be removing the hard coding, and it will be adding automatically into the strings.properties file. If you first select the text in the XML, it says file name, okay, this is English file name, because later on if you want to change this to Arabic, it will become Arabic easily. So that was for text view. Notice this comes usually for the text view, not edit text, because edit text is where the user will write. There's no text over here already. So let's do that again for patient name. Just highlight it, refactor Android, extract Android string. Is not an actual XML attribute value. Okay, it is. Okay, and it is patient name. What we are doing is it goes automatically into the strings patient management system. Let me open and show you the strings values. You see, either you do one by one, or you can just go ahead and write in English, and later on you do this option. It will add automatically here patient name. You see here it came with string. It's the same, but it's easy. I find it's easy. If you come to XML, you write in English, and then go to the XML. Select whatever you have written, Android text phone number. Select it. Go to refactor Android extract as string. It will do that automatically. For each text view, for each button where you have written English. For edit text, you have not written anything, so it will not do.
Okay, sir, I don't have this in my laptop.
If you have Eclipse Android ADT, you should have this over there. If you don't have it, then you have to go and add one by one into the text, and then you can do it that way.
Okay, add one.
You see like this?
No. From the value.
From the value, so you go to strings.xml. So see, where is my interface? This is the interface. You see the search, BTN search. You don't write anything over here. Okay, first you go to the strings.xml and you write add string. Okay, and basically I have some errors over here in my Android, so it hangs over here. So I have to go to the strings.xml, and here it is. Yours will work is equal to search, and the value is search. So you don't have to come and do this by yourself, but you should know what this is happening. I just created a search string over here. Just open again a search string. When you press add, right here search, and the value in English search.
The name should be BTN, right?
No, this is not the name. This is the text which you are showing. This is not the name. The name you will do here. Click on the button and give it ID BTN search. Yes, you have to make before. Yes, but that's a long process. The easier process is to do what I just showed to you before.
Okay, I want to do like what you are showing me, but I don't have that.
Okay, you should have that. If you don't have that, then I suggest you reinstall your Eclipse. Let me just show this to you again over here. What you need to do basically. You see this? Select this. Refactor Android. Extract Android string. That's all. So let me just show you here how you will give. For example, if you have added strings.xml by yourself, come to texts, click on this button, and select search over here. Select search over here. Are you looking at this? Okay. And the search will come over here, whatever the text you have selected. So basically that's how it works. So you have you have created all this, the search, etc., the write to file, read from file, save in DB, read from database. So basically what I want you to do is read these values and write to this file. The file name comes from here. Read from a file, it should read the values from the file and show over here. So I assume that you write only one record and read and save and show over here. Now the searching is basically from the database. So similarly you will write things to the database, this patient name and patient number in this database and in this table, and then you will read from the database and show over here according to whatever has been searched here. Now there can be a variation that you search over here, and when you press search, you search and show in another activity, and you have to use intent in that case. So I'm going to demonstrate that and show to you. So to write the code quickly, I'll go to the Java source file. Let's go to the Java file. Okay, let's clean this so I don't have any errors. Alright, so the on create options menu, I'm just going to minimize these both, press some enter over here so you have lots of space. Here create references to widgets, create Onclicklistener for write to file, create Onclicklistener for read from file, create Onclicklistener for write to database, create Onclicklistener for read from database, create Onclicklistener for search from database. So these are some the series of steps that I need to be implementing. Create references first of all. Edit text. I need to create edit text for file name txt is equal to find view by id r.id dot file name txt, right, and then you select this add cast, and I'm going to copy and paste this for the other text fields, which is file name, patient number, patient name txt, patient num txt, what else, db name, table name, and search. Okay, this is for db name, this is for table name, this is for search. So for db name txt, this is the reference for the relative widget, table name txt, and search txt, patient name txt, patient num phone number, basically phone txt, db txt, and then table txt, in the end search. So you've got search phone search txt. Okay, so you've got the references made. You make sure you've made them all final. Right, so now we need to be creating on-click listeners for these, and also we need to be creating the reference for the buttons. So how many buttons do we have? Write to file, read from file, save in database, read from database, and search. Okay, button write to file btn is equal to find by id r dot id dot write to file btn. Then obviously cast it to a button. You need to be importing the relevant widget. Add cast 1 2 3 4 5. So this is for write to file. This is read, and then write to db, what is it named over here? Save. Okay, save in db. So let's say save button db. Let's give something which is similar. Save. Okay, whatever the name is, that's one. Also you can do this, give the same names, and then read from db. This reference is from read db txt. You can give same names if you like here. Search phone search txt. Okay, no, sorry, this is this should not be dbs, this should be buttons. What is the name here? write file btn. This is read file btn. This is write file btn. This should be read file btn. And then this one is save. The name should be btn. So save db btn. That's the confusion. Okay. Save button. Okay. And this is a read button. Read button. Read db button. Let's give it this name. Read btn, save btn and read btn and search btn. Save btn, read file btn, read db btn, and also phone search btn. This one should be btn search. Okay. Btn search. Search btn or btn search, whatever, you can give it similar names over here. So write to file, read file, save file, read save button, read button, button search. Okay, so you've got these listeners. Write to file btn dot set Onclicklistener. Place a semicolon here. View dot Onclicklistener. Import. Let's do the listeners first for all. This is for read button dot set Onclicklistener, new view dot Onclicklistener, a semicolon over here, and then this one is save. This is for save in the DB. So we do save btn dot set Onclicklistener, new view dot Onclicklistener, and then this one is for reading from the database. What's the reading from the database name? Read btn. For each button, yes. New view dot Onclicklistener, semicolon in the end, and this is search btn or btn search, whatever we have given. Btn search dot set Onclicklistener, new view dot Onclicklistener, control space gives you suggestions. So we've got the listeners ready. Now we need to do the implementation. So I need to go to the file. So first of all, I need to read the files, the file name to write into. This is the file name. So write to file here. Let's remove this to do. So the write to file string for file name. This is the string as capital. File name is equal to file name txt dot get text dot to string. So that's my file name. I need to now write into a file name. What do I need to write? String patient name is equal to patient name txt dot get text dot to string. String phone this was phone. Okay. Patient num is equal to patient num dot get text dot to string. Okay, you can also have phone directly over here instead of patient num. What you can do is you can have phone only in this case to make things simple. It's up to you. So phone, but make sure you give it something which is a little different from the actual variable name you're declaring. So phone txt get text to string. So got this. I need to write these two things in the file name. So I'll make a separator. I'll be giving, if you need to make a separator, I'll be giving you this in the scenario itself. So let's open the file IO code. For writing the code quickly, I'll just copy and paste from here. Yes, so the file reading, file writing code, I'll just declare over here. File output stream, file out, it will open the file name connection. Open output stream connection to the file. Which file? This one which the user has given us, and then write to it some string. What is the string? So I will do this. I have to give here the bytes. So I will basically convert these, both of these patient name and phone number, into bytes, and then I will write this over here. So I'll do patient name, comma, phone. Okay, and all of this I will convert into bytes. And I'll write over here. Now it says there is some exception. Exception means there is some error I need to be taken care of. So once I've done the closing of the output file, I just need to, the closing of the output stream, just select this, and you need to have surround with over here, surround with, and try catch. Try catch, it will basically catch any error and display error if it comes up. e.print stack trace, it will display the error. So that's what it does when you want to display the errors when you have an error while writing. Now you need to do the reading also. So let's say I'm going to go to this main activity which reads the file. I need to be just, I'll copy and paste this. This reading code in the reading from the file listener. So sorry, it should be reading code, not writing code. This is reading from the file. So let's see. So for the purpose of quickness, I'm doing this. I've explained this code to you already. You should understand what it is doing. You see, it is right now adding all of this into a string called out. Right. Let's look at this. Buffer reader, input stream reader, file in. This is basically this file name. It should be reading from a specific file name, which is this file, and I should be placing this inside try catch. So I did not copy try when I did have this input stream reader. You need to be importing this. Let's open the activity. When I read the code, yes, this code, open file input, etc. Okay, so this is where I should have copied from, this whole thing, try until catch. So let's do that again. Okay, I just delete this because this is not needed. Okay, now this file name is basically read from another widget, this widget. So I might as well copy the whole line over here. paste this over here. So I actually now read and display in a toast. That's not what I want in your exam. Basically I want to read and display here patient name and phone number. So there's only one line I need to be reading and displaying. So there's no need for while continuously, because we want to read only once. So basically we'll just read once. Okay, so br dot read line will read once. If you want to read continuously all the contents of the file, this is what it does. It reads continuously everything, and you have this everything in the out, which is a string, and now you can display this on the interface basically. So this is how you read and then display on the interface. So let's just stop this toast.message, and I'm gonna, or I might as well ask you to read this and then display the contents on a toast. So basically you have read and you have displayed this over here. If you want to display on the widgets, you can refer to the widgets and write dot get text, set text, and that's all. So basically this is how you would read and then just display. This is reading and writing. Now if you want to do the database read and write operation, again I will come down to the code where I created database reading and writing. The listener I created for it's this file basically. So I created this listener for writing in a database, this one for reading from the database, this one from searching from the database. So I'm going to do just that. Let's open the database. To the purpose of writing the code quickly, I'm doing this. You should understand which code goes where. Don't just copy and paste everything in the exam. Let's copy this until just before the toast, including the toast. So we say the record is included, is written, and these values should be basically coming from here: patient name, patient phone number. So this is not needed here. This is patient name, this is patient phone, and we'll read this from here. This is patient name txt and then phone txt. This is what we need to be reading: patient name txt, and this one is phone txt. So we got this over here, and basically we create a database with patient name, create table if not exists. This would be patient's name, or you can have p name, patient name, p phone or patient phone, and that's all. Only these two things. Right now for this example we are only doing patient name and patient phone, and the database is created. So now the database is patients, the table name is also patients. The values should be kept: p name, p phone, patient name, patient phone, and the value should be coming from here: patient name, which we have read from the widget, and patient phone, which we have read from the widget. And obviously you insert into this table, patients table, these values which you have created, and say record inserted successfully. That's how basically you write into the DB. For reading from the database, is this method. I'm going to read from the database. Okay, inside the listener, inside the onclick, so that when you're reading, make sure you're reading from the same, exactly same database, exactly same table name. So for ease, we have actually created the same table and same database. Select asterisk from patients, etc. And there is no students over here. There is only patient. So string patient name, good, get column index p. What was the column index? Make sure it's the same column index. P name and p phone should be case sensitive. P name and this should be p phone. So 1 second, this is p name so it is basically read and displayed on a toast. So what we now need in this application is to read a certain record, the first record, and display over here, and also this will be searching from the database and will be displaying. So let's do that. This will be reading from the database and displaying on the edit text. So to display on the edit text, obviously you will be referring to that edit text, which is this edit text, patient name txt and phone txt. So I'm going to go just there and display this dot set text and p name. So this is, I've read from the database and I save it over here, display it over there. So this I'm doing in a while loop because I was showing a toast message. There is no need to do that toast message. I would want you in this scenario is to just read the first record and show. So move to first and display the record and finish. So no need for doing the while loop, or move to the next. So the patient name dot set text and also phone txt dot set text, and it will be basically string phone, and here you do phone is equal to cursor dot get string c dot get column index p phone. Make sure it's the same column which you have inserted with. This is p name, this is p phone. Same column which you have inserted with. This is p name, this is p phone. Okay, and now you set text on the widget also as whatever you have read phone, this phone from the cursor. So basically what happens is it opens a connection to the database, it reads all the records from the cursor, the query select asterisk from patients, all the records please read, move to the first cursor, read the patient name and patient phone. This is how you read from the cursor from the database, patient name, patient phone, and then display it on the edit text here, patient name and patient phone. So basically both of these things are displayed and the read from database is also done. So the first record is read. Now the last thing is searching. So let me show you the searching code. The search code is this one, get records by mobile. This is the example of how you would want to go ahead and search. The search is basically a database query. Select asterisk from students where mobile is equal to this. This is one example. We want to do the same thing for the patients. So let's copy this method there. Get records by mobile. We will say get patient by mobile here. Just create outside the onCreate. Let's go outside the onCreate and create a new method. Get record by, or get patient record by mobile. This should be patients database and patients table. where this is pphone, because that's the column name we have given, mobile number. So this is the method you use there. You can use the same method here, get patient record by mobile. So for the Onclicklistener, basically you read whatever the value is inside here. This is phone search txt, whatever the reference we have given. Read this, pass it on to this method, and get the value back. So basically what we will be doing is string phone is equal to phone txt dot get text dot toString. So you got the phone number. Now you need to pass this on to this method, get patient record mobile, and it will give you back a cursor. Cursor c is equal to get patient record by mobile phone. Okay, now you got the cursor. Look at the sample how I've used it, how you're using the DB app. Get record by mobile, how it has been used. You got the cursor. Now if there is no record, display there is no record found. Else you display it in the text, in the edit text. So let's just make a copy of this and also do this over here. If cursor is empty, dot count is empty, record not found. Meaning this select asterisk from patients where pphone is equal to your passed in phone number. No patient exists with that phone number. This is what basically it means. Now we need to set the text of the edit text, which is this patient name txt and phone txt. So we need to set this text reading from the record. So patient name txt dot set text, whatever you have read from the record, and the column name is pphone, and the second column name is pname and pphone. Phone txt. Excuse me. So that's the search going on. Right, so let me just deploy this on the patient management system on my emulator and check what happens.